So I think it's time for us to send it over to our weekly recap. All right, I forgot to change the graphics. Sick. Anyway, we're going to start off with Celtic Throwdown. This was a Dojo Prime event all the way up there in the Celtic land of the United Kingdom. I probably shouldn't say that. They might get pissed. And it was taken by Mr. Croft. Mr. Croft taking it for the big 220 points for the Dojo Prime event. Fergus taking second. Chicken Maru rounding out your podium. Gozang, Changbang, Ducky, Banana, and Tibetano all rounding out your top 8. And, of course, tied for 9th, the big names, Kanan Trench, Haroon, Rukeng, and Daniel Mato. And rounding out your top 16, we got Turkey, Stink 450, Sherdell, and none other than the Iron Giant. So big ups to everybody at Celtic Throwdown for putting on a show. It was a great tournament to watch. Next. Oh, sorry. There we go. I pressed the wrong button. Next. Mean Scene, there's your one. We had the CPT, Nordic / Baltic region online premiere. And it was taken by, big surprise, the Phenom. Phenom taking it and qualifying himself to Capcom Cup. Reichmann's Barnet, unfortunately, just coming up short, along with Torpen, the Swedes. Then Yanzai, Veggie, Dr. Gulag, Kung Martin, and Michael all rounding out your top 8. Furbilon, Ixion, Hestcraft, and Kaji's all rounding out your tying for 9th rather. And Sorg, Mantel, Madar, Fairy, and M16 rounding out your top 16 for the CPT Nordic Baltic online premiere. Next, Takra Cup, the big old Tekken Dojo Prime event in the big land of Pakistan, taken by none other than the legend, Fate Red Bull's Arslan Ash, going home with 220 points, followed by Ark taking second, and Bial rounding out the podium. Atif Butt with a 4th place after a very hot run over at EVO. Asan Ali, Kasimir, Dawood Sikandar, and Awais Liakat. I hope I pronounced that right. I apologize. All rounding out your top 8. Time for 9th, we got Usman, Awais Honey, Awais Rocks, Akil Zahor, and tied for 13th and rounding out the rest of the top 16 is Hira, Munib, Esharib, and Kashi Snake. So big ups to the Takra Cup crew and everybody who participated. Another super hot tournament. There was no shortage of good-ass Tekken this weekend. Speaking of good-ass Tekken, we're going to keep it going with Uprising Korea, another Dojo Prime event. It's a packed one this weekend. Chanel taking it over Ulsan to get those big 220 points. John Ding unfortunately taking 3rd. Couldn't clutch it out in the end. Mayo, JDCR, CDM, Boa Love B, and Gao Gongi, I hope I pronounced it right again, all rounding out your top 8. Tied for 9th is Rest, Yonorang, Infested, and the Big Invader Super Akuma. And rounding out the rest of the top 16 is Breadman, B+, Puma, and Destiny. You think we're done with Tekken? Hell nah. CEOTaku had a Dojo 48 Plus event. And we got Washed Up Cody, of course, the Lord Cody, big legacy player, taking the tournament rather, big 70 points. Second and third are Abstract and Dastry rounding out the podium. Shai the Ruler, 904 Reflex, Green Goblin, Ludovic, now that's a surprising name to be up there, and Mei rounding out your top 8. Luchohan, Christy D, Squall, and Tai Tai all tying for 9th, and B Buckets, 11 Frames, Moyasu, and Debaser Ferret rounding out your top 16. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of CEOTaku, shall we? We'll start with the big game, the first big tournament for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, and it was taken by Max Sev, Elon, I think that's what they were calling him on stream, I forget, from Korea, the Big Invader, taking second. Very, very close match in the end. No thank you. Says no thank you to second place and takes third. Sykes a Million, Madpog, Barrel, Sundula, and Bombay rounding out your top 8. Tied for 9th are Species, Kudogeo, Skyblaze, Punish Shoddy, and rounding out the top 16. Tied for 13th is Ravekun, Scratchy Ann, Frankie G, and the Lord, Panda Global's Punk. Next, we got the big ol' games at CEOTaku. Let's go to Melty Blood type Lumina with Masoma taking the big win over Scrot Vermilion. Great set. Very, very close. Very, very fun to watch. Lunar taking the third place, the bronze. Infinity, Lucy, Medusa, Mids, Mikano, and Yui rounding out your top 8. Burrell, Fame 96, Defiant, and Silent all tying for 9th. And tying for 13th is Faulty Sticks, Gavin 9, Clear Lamp, the oh man, words please. Clear Lamp, the Uniel Lord, and Pinku all tying for 13th. Let's move on over to Grand Blue Fantasy versus Mad Best Killer taking it at number 1. Neo Karsh taking it silver. Zombu third. And look at that name in 4th place. It's none other than one of our producers, the Lord Blue, taking 4th. He says he runs away in chat, but man, 4th place ain't nothing to shake a stick at. So everybody congratulate Blue for a nice showing over at CEOTaku, kicking some ass. Lunar, Rose Lockhart, Too Easy, and Chuabu all rounding out your top 8. Seth, Tony, Callisto, you know Callisto, and Danny Boy tying for 9th. Echo, Ice Kid, Rowlet, and Cornstar tying for 13th, rounding out your top 16. Also, wanted to note, Blue also took, I believe, 3rd in Phantom Breaker Omnia, so Blue had himself a very good weekend. Good shit, Blue. Good shit. Blaze Blue Central Fiction was taken by Monarch over Jonah in a ridiculous set. Monarch played, I think, 2 characters and almost lost. Monarch was fighting out of winners. Jonah reset it, almost walked it all the way back, but Monarch fortunately was able to hold in tight for 1st. Elion taking the bronze. Bad Lime, Nezu, Burker Dave, Days, and DGF rounding out your top 8. Tied for 9th, the Julian Beautiful Dude, Julio Crivera, Grover, and Towito, and tying for 13th is Greek Ascended Dust, Oracle, Chaotic Games, and Ryu Casino 99. That is your Blaze Blue Central Fiction top 16. Now we're getting to the big boys. DNF Duel, the Arc World Tour qualifier, was taken by none other than Mystic Smash, the invader from Britain, over Lost Soul. Both Mystic Smash and Lost Soul now are qualified for the Arc World Tour finals, so congrats to them. Lupro, Scrot Vermilion, Breaker Dave, Diaphone, Taco, and Levi all rounding out your top 8. Tied for 9th, the Midwest Zone, Fu, Black, Kyo-chan, and Masoma. Masoma once again showing up on these top 16s. And tied for 13th, rounding out the rest of the top 16 is Prophet, SS, Random Fiend, that's a name I have not seen in a hot minute, and Pikishu. That's very hard to say. Next is Guilty Gear Strive. And this is the last of the CEOTaku events for sure. Nubenheimer taking the big win over Bean. For those of you that did not watch, that was the big thing over the weekend. Just Bean. Nubenheimer qualifies for the Arc World Tour Finals, so congratulations to Nubenheimer. Razo, a surprising 3rd place. And Leffen with the 4th place. Congrats to Leffen, the one invader from Sweden. Jonathan Tene, Apology Man, Tempest, NYC, and Zando from Israel rounding out your top 8. Test Your Luck, who beat my ass at Evo. He was the person who beat my poo in on stream for winners finals of our pool, tying for 9th, so congrats to him. When he does well, I look good. Umisho with a surprising 9th. Hotashi also with a surprising 9th, and Mystic Smash had the Cinderella run cut short, also tying for 9th. Tied for 13th, MFCR, Punk, Solstice, and Supernoon and that is CEOTaku. But if you thought that was it, it is not. We still got more. We got Glitch. Glitch was a Smash World Tour Gold event, and the best 3 gold results contribute to the player ranking. So, out of everybody here, we got Light coming out in first. We got Kameme in second. Bandit's Own Sonics from the Dominican Republic in third. Zomba, Jackal, PK Chris, Jake, and Squid Plumber, runner for Bestie Best Name of the Week right there, rounding out your top 8. And tying for 9th are Ken, Syrup, also runner for Bestie's Best Name of the Week. Ned and Naito Sharp tying for 9th. And Goofy Goober, also runner for Bestie Best Name of the Week. Smub, Peanut, and Unleashed, rounding out your top 16. Let's take it over to the Grand Blue versus Community League. Justicar qualifying for the Asia Regional Finals all the way from Oceania, taking it over Dog in the Grand Finals. Snare taking the bronze. Liuop, Foroboros, Bigum Boots, Strider, and Lazul all rounding out your top 8. And we had none other than Bread, Mama Orochi, Robo Railway, and Mach tying for 9th. Rounding out the rest of the top 16 is Wumbofuse, Hiker Knob, Nember, and Nyakuza. Staying in Grand Blue Versus, let's go to South Korea for the Grand Blue Versus Community League. Zeus, the God of Thunder, qualifies for the Asia Regional Finals over the hot guy. Ku taking the bronze. Bosch 11, Takeout, Sideburns Fantasy, and Esero all rounding out your top 8. And we had Pound, Julian, Tree Piece, and Tarkov tying for 9th. Rounding out the top 13, the winner of the Bestie Best Name of the Week. I love this game but can't play it. Walnut Shell, Blaster, and Nemu all tied for 13th, rounding out the top 16. Enough about the past, let's look towards the future. What to watch this week, and there is a lot to watch this week. First, we have Lost Tech City, the Smash World Tour Gold event for Ultimate and Melee, and also a Panda Cup pit stop for Ultimate and Melee happening this weekend. Saturday and Sunday, we got France's own The Mix-Up. It's a Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour Power event. It's a Tekken World Tour Master event. It's an Arc Revo World Tour qualifier for Guilty Gear. There we go. I know words. Guilty Gear Strive and DNF Duel. It's going to be a packed weekend over in France this Saturday and Sunday. Thunderstruck, Tekken World Tour Dojo 32 Plus event, also Saturday and Sunday. The Vienna Challengers Arena, another Smash World Tour Platinum event for Ultimate, is happening this weekend as well, along with the Grand Blue versus Community League for North America South, happening at Versus Asia, and Melty Blood Type Lumina's official tournament for the US West, happening in Versus Asia as well. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our weekly recap.